Hello, good evening. I think Mina, you can continue. I don't know if she's back. Is the speaker back?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so let me put you as course, and I'm sorry for that. Kindly just make sure the person who has the logins for the session is only those people who are here. If you share in social media, other people from other states will join. So you can continue, Kenya. Welcome.
Thank you. I hope wengine wamejoin. Just a minute. We were finishing up the objectives of training adolescents on soft skills. Other than just the training, as I was saying, it's very important to ensure now, just after training them, that you've assessed what they've learned. Other than learning the basic things, are they able to practice? Are they able to put them into use? So maybe just after the training, after you've gotten feedback, you can test the little that they have gained, the little that they have learned, so that you can gauge their ability for them to demonstrate effective soft skills and even get to understand, or rather get them to understand that the lack of these skills impacts their lives differently, and even so that you can get to apply, to know, are they able to apply these learned skills? Because you might be just training them, but at the end of the day, they have the theory, they don't have the ability to put it into use. And the most essential thing here is not the theoretical bit, it is the ability to practice. So now as a trainer, because most of us here are trainers, how do you get to know that your audience is able to practice what you've taught? That's where the question of assessment comes in. How do you get to know that your audience have gained something other than gathering feedback, written feedback from them? Maybe the session was nice, I've learned something, but then how do you get to really know you've learned something? That was an idea. We said any answer is correct, so don't shy. You can even text, I'll still access the chat box.
Hello, let me just go fast.
Yes, Joyce.
Okay. I have a group of teenagers, adolescent girls and young mothers, and we train them. And after training, we call a session that we get together and they share their experience and what they have done. Actually, we emphasize on P2P training, like they do their own counseling. And after that, they come and give us feedback through verbally, not in a written form, verbally. And through their talks, you're able to understand what they've learned and if they really understood what you taught them last, at least to give you an option or an opportunity to train them on another skill. That is what I'm doing with them. Thank you.
I would like to second what Julian has said. After the session, maybe after calling them to come together, you can assess if actually maybe they are more open to working in groups. Though I feel utajua kama enyewe these people have really mastered your teamwork, because if you bring them together and maybe tell them to settle in groups and you find they start coming up with more ideas, you'll see that they're being more open to working as a team. So yeah, I guess yeah, hivyo.
Someone else? I feel
Okay.
like yes, go ahead.
If I may add, I think that for you, for one, to identify if the skills are put into work, I think before you start training, you must identify the problem or the gap. So I think when you have identified the gap or the issue or the problems, and then after training, you can ask or they can share with you. Maybe let's say we are talking about soft skill. One of them is maybe around problem solving. At the beginning, members of the group can share with you the problems they're going through, issues, one or two. But after training for a period of time, you can do what assessment or monitoring. Then you can inquire from them, how are they coping with challenges, managing these challenges of maybe stress, problem solving of the life, how are they doing it? If they're doing it the correct way, how you told them, means that at least you are achieving something. I hope you can learn from at least there is something learning going on. Thank you.
You are welcome. At least Samuel has spoken. I was saying that I tend to think that females tunaongea sana and the males are quiet. But at least some ameleta quorum. From the three that have spoken, thank you. We were talking, Ruth, I don't know if Ruth can hear me. She's saying, I can't hear you. I really do not know what's the issue.
I can hear you now. I can hear you, Nina.
All right, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We were looking, and now how do you get to know, our discussion was how do you get to know that the participants have gained something? You've learned that you can let them discuss or rather do counseling within themselves. You can even ask them to share what they have learned, and then at least you get to know that they have gained something, which is correct. Other than that, I will now focus on the types of soft skills that I have set aside for tonight. I decided to use an acronym which makes it easy to remember. Remember, as we said, that soft skills it's something that you cannot really measure. It's a bit challenging to measure. And then it's related to human behavior in regard to improving one's personality. These skills, they help individuals interact in a creative and natural way. They are not necessarily taught in a course. Like, ukienda shule, or when you enroll in a school or in an institution, most of the teachers that you find there, or rather the curriculum that you use, especially in Kenya, you may not find most of them focusing on problem-solving skills. You may not find most of them training students in leadership or other organization skills. I don't know if CBC is different, because for me, I did 844. So you find that most of these students or most of these individuals are not really equipped with these skills. Then we saw the importance of soft skills. It teaches us how to interact with others and even develop independent thinking. Other than that, it also helps in time management and even in decision making, communication, and overall, they help us improve our personality. So the acronym that I chose for tonight that will be representing the 4 soft skills that we will handle, I chose to use the name SOFT. So the acronym is from the word soft skills, I chose to use the word SOFT. S stands for problem solving. The O stands for organizational skills, more so on leadership. The F, it represents flexibility. And the T represents time management. I hope you've gotten me. I chose to use the acronym SOFT from soft skills. S for problem solving, O for organizational skills, which I narrowed down to leadership skills. The F stood for flexibility and T for time management. We will start with problem solving. Problem solving is the ability to identify problems, also analyze and implement the best solutions. When it comes to problem solving, it's something that needs you to be rational, something that needs you to think and then way out of all the solutions that you've gotten, out of all the ideas that have popped in your mind, which one do you implement now? So it needs one to be logical and come up with a good solution. For instance, yes, James? For instance, I want to I know if the guidelines can help me mute James. Thank you. I have a question here now back to our participants. What happens when you're given a puzzle? Maybe you're playing a game and then someone pops some puzzle to you, which you find challenging. How do you go about it?
Come again.
Suppose someone presents to you a puzzle, maybe it was just a game, an easy one, and then suddenly they bring in a more challenging level of the game. What do? Do you just quit? Do you just try to solve it?
For me, I would actually now employ the critical thinking skills because I have to attempt that either way. Because I have the concept, there is always a way out of it. This is because I believe in solutions. I also believe in that in having at least 3 alternatives, so that now I'm able to choose from the one. Thank you.
Thank you, Godfrey. At Michelle Mwenda.
I'll try to find to bring the pieces together by trying a new skill. And then when okay, because you've said it's a more advanced game, where I'll find it difficult, I'll find someone to help me, because I believe when we put two brains or two minds together or more, we can actually try to solve it by getting different ideas. Yes, and we try to fix it together. Why I find it challenging. Yes.
Thank you, Michelle. Someone else? Yes, Samuel.
I think that you talk about the puzzle. I will try to solve the puzzle by first identify the, maybe if it's a problem solving, I will identify the root cause. Or if a puzzle, I will try to gather them first. Then after gathering them first, I will brainstorm. Yeah, brainstorm and check what can be done. I will not just rush to fix them first. I will first brainstorm to see what I can do so that they can make the perfect solution. Yeah, I'm done.
Yes, go on. Oh, you're saying you're done. All right, thank you for sharing. I want to appreciate those that have chipped in. From the chat box, I can see this Jess. She says, if the puzzle gets tough, I will prefer seeking for the seeking for help in going about the puzzle. Mhm. There's another one. I'm trying to access the other chat. I cannot get the other one correctly. There's a previous one. So sad, I cannot access it. She had also said that she can try. So that's what I wanted to get, because most of the adolescents actually, they try to avoid issues. Maybe someone has a problem and they feel they are really incapable of handling that. So it's very important that when you're training them to ensure that they gain problem solving skills. For instance, now the puzzle presents itself as some sort of problem that needs you to critically think, how do I handle that? Now, like Jess said, if the puzzle gets tough, it's very important that you seek help. Now, equip these adolescents with the knowledge or the know-how that they really do not have to struggle so much with that puzzle on their own. They can try, yes, but the moment they find that it's more challenging, it's very important to seek help and maybe support from those that are close to them. So for problem solving skills, it's one of the essential skills that comes about, or rather along with soft skills. The other skill, it is organizational skills. Organizational skills are skills that enable us to function well. This does not only apply to adolescents who are schooling, it also applies to us adults and everyone, because the organizational skills will help us function well in school or maybe at home or even in our workplaces. This is whereby we get to see how organized are you. Maybe you've your own workplace, how is it, how presentable is it, how do you even organize yourself as an adult? Most of these schooling girls, because our program is more of girls now, how do they present themselves? Are they presentable? How do they organize even their personal space? Are they more organized? So for organization skills, you can actually gauge by looks. How does her locker look like? How does she organize her work? Maybe even her textbooks, how are they presented? Something like that. So when one is organized, they really do not have to strain to do certain things and tracing things. Maybe she has a pen, she keeps it here. When it gets misplaced, she can easily trace it. Same case to adults. You car keys in the morning, you're shuffling everywhere. When you live in the house now, everything is upside and down. You see, that means that in a way, I'm not saying that you're not organized, but it means that your organizational skills kidogo zinafail. So it's very important that you equip these adolescents with organizational skills. It's very important to give them practical ways of ensuring that they are organized. So back to my participants. Now you have an adolescent that you train. How do you ensure that they have key organization skills, or rather they put them into practice? How do you ensure that they have gained these skills? Someone, you can also type. Say any answer is correct, so.
Okay, if I may try, I think that if you have the adolescents or young generation, or even organization skills may cut across even the adult, older adults. So I think that what I can do when I have a group and I know the group, this is the group of the focus, although the team, I have the team, and I want to ensure they are doing or practicing these organizational skills, or how they organize themselves, what they are doing, how they plan their activities. It's just more of how one person is organized generally on him or herself. So I will ensure that if I have a team or a group, I do monitoring. See, this is my group, not my team, I know them. For me to ensure this is effective, maybe this one, somebody can tell you something, but it is not true. So something you can do, first, you can even just see some people, you can even see, yes, maybe, even without talking, you can see somebody is organized, but other people don't, like they are just in a rush, they don't care. That is the simple way. But if you have a team, you can do monitoring. Maybe you can do, if you know where they stay, you can do home visit and see, and surprise visit too. Just surprise somebody in this in your team, then you just visit him. Then you will just know if person is organized in one way or the other, or they're practicing these skills, or the way person is carrying him or herself. You can notice a few of these skills from them. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. Someone else?
Hello.
Hello, Juma.
Yes, to find out if the adolescents are exercising that skill, you can do background check. As Samuel has said, you just doing a background check by ensuring paying a visit and see whether what they are practicing is what they have learned. The other thing is engaging the teenagers in feedback sessions, getting stories. They will automatically tell you what they have been doing, and from that you will be able to identify whether they are doing the right way, or there's something needs to be added on their skills. So on my side, just through background check and engaging them in the feedback session. Thank you.
Okay, this is Jesse.
Yes,
I'd like to say also, when maybe you are checking the organizational skills in adolescents, you'll see how they manage time. Maybe you've agreed what time to meet when you are doing your sessions or rounds, and you see maybe one or some of the teenage or the adolescents are not coming on time. But when you find out they're coming on time, you'll see that they're organizing themselves. The organizational skills in them has taken place. Even prioritizing things, the way now they start prioritizing things when in the session, you realize that now these adolescents of mine now, they're organizing themselves, the way they carry out themselves in the sessions. That's how you can easily check that now there's something happening with the adolescents. Thank you.
Hello.
Okay, Nina, if I might say something.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, me, I was like, being a mom, I would have a meeting with them, discuss on the daily routine, then I'll have a score chart. A score chart it will be their motivation. In that, I'll be awarding prizes to those who will be doing things on time. Like, it's a motivation. So if you want this, I give what they want. Those kids, what they love most is what I'll be putting as the prize. So mwenye ana perform vizuri ndiye anapata.
Thank you, Ruth.
Okay, hello?
Hello, go on.
Okay, to add on that, for monitoring, adolescents are very cheeky people around, because I'm in a community, in a formal area. These adolescents, as you monitor them, you have to understand that they are also monitoring you. What are you doing? Are you also practicing the same thing that you're telling them? Again, for organizational skills, you'll realize that how many times are they visiting their safe space? And for my girls, let me just say that for my girls, they always come. They know even the national dates. One will come and tell you, I think this World Health Day we will visit, we'll do this, we will do this. Actually, even at times you find that you are not there, but they are there doing their things. If you come back, you find reports. This is part of organizational skill. You realize that you will realize that it's a functional. Without you, without any other leaders, they can come do their things, find report written for you, and their feedbacks is one of the organizational structure which is functional. Again, how do they involve community around them? Are they able to share anything learned from their safe space, anything learned from you? If they are doing that, actually you'll receive information from people outside the safe space or within the community telling you the good work you're doing. It's showing that the organization is completely functional and they're actually practicing what they are seeing. Thank you.
Thank you, Achille. At Kadesa.
Yeah, I was thinking of something totally different, but towards what others are talking about, like in terms of monitoring organization skills that they have acquired, it all starts from the way they present themselves, how they talk, how they present their issues. You know, once you train them, these are different or there are views that they may come up with that shows that they have really acquired the knowledge. So through how they present the ideas, you know, it will be able to tell you that really they have acquired these skills. Because sometimes you can have girls or teenagers who can just, you know, giving ideas anyhowly. I mean, without proper, you know, planning, but in a way that you've given them the skills, the ideas, and you know how they organize they are. You can monitor on how they're bringing or they're coming in with their issues and how they are responding to the questions. So it is one of the key indicators as you do monitoring that will tell you that really what they have acquired is actually what you've taught them. Then another thing is once they have acquired these skills, they'll go sharing with others. So you'll get this feedback through even others, not even necessarily them, but through even others who might be their friends, their peer, they talk together, they work together. So it is something that will replicate from you to them, then to the surrounding environment or the other environment. So it's a way that
I don't know what happened to Kadesa. She was saying something. Yes, Kadesa, go on.
sorry, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, so once they do that, I was talking about just giving the same information to the friends. It will also tell you how organized this group is, and then also do some kind of evaluation, follow up to the, you know, the community level, even to the household level. It will also give you an impression on what they have gained and if really what are they really implementing what they have been taught, or the soft skills that I mean you've taught them. Are they applying this even at the level of at home level? So it involves quite a lot, but you can learn from far just from the presentation and how they are. It can tell a lot through monitoring. Thank you.
Thank you for those that have chipped in. I really want to wish, even as you're discussing them, this is what will actually put into use local ground. So I also have several messages from the chat box. Scholastica is saying she gives them a test or some practical so that she can see their ability to practice everything that she had taught them. Ruth and talked about awarding chat score that will motivate them to be organized. This can also work because once you award them, they will always want to be organized so that they can win the next award. From why she's saying leading by example or being a role model also matters a lot to adolescents. They mostly learn through observing. If someone is organized, it also motivates them, which is true. Most of these adolescents, you always copy whatever you're showcasing. If you happen to be organized, if you happen to always do things in order, you always copy and model your behavior. So even as you're teaching them, it's very important to put into practice whatever you are teaching. This Joyce, she's saying leading by example, it motivates them as well so that they keep doing it. Sure. And then there's a bully. You'll notice the way they behave, when things are not in order, which is true. And we've also heard from several participants, including background checking and even storytelling from Ayub Juma, which is correct. Thank you for that. The next skill that we look at is flexibility. It is the ability to adapt to new situations and even overcome difficulties. When it comes to flexibility, it's ensuring that these adults or rather these adolescents, they are flexible, they can easily adapt to new situations. Most of these adolescents, you might find out that they are so fixated in something. Maybe they like a certain unit and they love a certain teacher taking them through that unit. So when this teacher happens to change, or if they to choose between this unit and the next one, they really have a hard time. This also applies to their personal lives. Maybe something that has happened at home, they have a very hard time, or rather a very hard time to cope. And this now even affects their mental health state. It also affects them academic-wise. So it's very important, even as trainers, that to ensure that these adolescents have learned the ability to be flexible. If this teacher leaves, if this teacher stays, they're fine. If something changes at home, if something changes maybe with friendships or anything, they can easily adapt. Now this skill, flexibility, it normally helps most of them to get to be able to maneuver around life situations or maybe certain changes in their lives. You can also get to gauge how flexible is this student, how flexible is this individual, by asking questions. Maybe what would you feel when your best friend relocated from maybe your own place? Or maybe how would you handle when your favorite teacher gets transferred to another school? Flexibility will also help them to minimize frustrations as they get to deal with situations as they are. And now the last one, and an important skill as well, it is time management. Time management is very crucial. It is very important, not only to adolescents, but also to adults. It helps us in proper planning and even utilizing time. Time is very essential, actually. I bet you all know that. And then getting to learn how to plan and manage your time is very important. So what's the importance in time management? Time management will help these adolescents learn to organize themselves and even plan their day-to-day schedules. It will also help them in finishing tasks so that they do not make them feel overwhelmed. You may find that most students actually, they have difficulties when it comes to finishing their assignments on time. Most of them feel as if schoolwork is so overwhelming. They have a social life that they want to keep. They have clubs that they have to join, and all these classwork, these examinations, they have a lot, but then how do they get to plan it effectively? Other than that, you may also get to assess how this adolescent is well equipped when it comes to time management by looking at how many times they fail to finish their assignments and what are the reasons behind that. So it's now up to you as a trainer to ensure that your audience get to be able to manage their time effectively. Time management also will cause distractions, and it also helps these students to have focus, or maybe to get to know what they want, allocate time for that certain duty, and so much more. I would also want to wonder a little bit from my acronym, because I'm just choosing SOFT for problem solving, organizational skills, flexibility, and time management. The other skill that I want to talk about is communication. Communication is also very essential, not only to adolescents, but also to adults. Communication really measures on how we express our ideas, our feelings, not only to those around us, but even to friends, teachers, parents, even at work. Communication will also help these adolescents learn how to express themselves. It has come to my attention. I don't know if you guys have noticed that we might even be adults, but most of the individuals really do not know how to express themselves clearly. You might also find that expressing ideas or maybe whatever they are going through is an issue. So really start from these young souls or other young individuals. It's very important to ensure that these adolescents are equipped with communication skills whereby they are so free. They are so free to speak out. When they have issues, they are so free. Yes, Joyce? They are so free to communicate whatever they are going through and maybe to even communicate whenever they need help. And the last one is confidence. Confidence, it's the ability for someone to have trust in themselves and even their abilities and qualities. I want to hear, how do you know, or rather, how do you tell that an individual has issues with their confidence? How do you get to tell that this adolescent has issues with confidence? Because most of them actually do not know that they have issues with confidence. How do you tell?
First of all, the ones that have issue with confidence normally have problems communicating or talking in front of an audience, or maybe in a class setting. They can't even answer questions, and they usually feel that everybody. How can I put this? Even their walking style, the way they walk as if they are unsure of themselves. They walk looking down. Yeah, according to me.
Yeah, that's true, Joyce. Someone else?
Okay, I would say an adolescent cannot be able to speak, how do I call it? Speak fluently, like you like speaking something else, like you cannot answer a question directly, you're like, you can't even look at someone straight in the eye. I guess that.
Yeah, sure. Someone, the last one.
I have also I've noticed with working with mine is not adolescent, is from 18 to 24. Some usually have they're uncomfortable with their bodies. So as much as some are very loud and all that, and they're outgoing, they look outgoing, there's some things they'll do, like even there's a certain way they'll dress up, or a certain way they'll interact with people. Like for example, I have experienced a couple of guys who will say, they'll say, I'm uncomfortable with my hands because they look big, so I always put on things that are covering me up. So you find even when it's really, really hot, they'll still cover themselves with hoodies because they're uncomfortable with that. And it kidogo restricts them from even engaging with other people because they don't feel pretty enough. So you'll find even others, when they're engaging with guys, because they don't feel like they fit in, they'll withdraw from the engagement. Yes. So you might think they're just not outgoing, or like that's just their personality, but it's because they feel very uncomfortable with who they are as a person.
Okay, can I add something?
Yes.
I think that when you talk about confidence, it is sometimes we really do like to treat the symptom, but we don't treat the root cause of the problem actually. You know, when you talk about the confidence, all these things stuff, and even communication, it all starts when the child is young. And maybe we can reflect back from parenting style, because we get that when maybe parents did not give this child enough space to interact with other children. So his environment was very strict. So when he came to interact with people, it really got hard time to do this, because if we don't teach our children social skill and emotional intelligence well, they will have problem even in future, because these skills are very important, can help succeed in school and adult life. But if these things were received from our parents when they were young, then they will have a little hard time to interact with others freely. Even they cannot express themselves in a good way because they lack this skill. Even the forming friend is difficult for these people. So if there's a challenge like that for adolescent, I think as trainers, we should identify this problem. We can improve, because in this life, there is a room for improvement, and we are learning each and every day. We can start from there and improve on them until they become at least better people, because sometimes a problem begin when the child was very young. So amekuwa adult hivyo, ameogopa, wazazi wake hawakumpea hiyo nafasi ya kuinteract vizuri, some kind of sort. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. I think that's very essential, what everyone has shared, so that even as we go on with the trainings, you can tell, is your audience that confidence? Can they really speak for themselves even in your absence? From the chat box, I can see that we have several answers. From Scholastica, you can see that they compare themselves with others. Now, mostly they see others to be better than them. That's true. That even gets attached to their self-esteem. They do not believe and trust themselves, and their esteem is low. From Josephine, her bully is saying they always keep quiet and doubt themselves. True. They cannot express themselves boldly. From Wende. And Veronica says that teenagers who lack self-confidence tend to copy others since they do not believe in themselves. Therefore, they believe that they believe others are better than being themselves. And then Ruth is saying they shy away and lock themselves in their rooms. They don't enjoy attention. And then Jesse, they avoid situations that will make them feel embarrassed and even avoid making mistakes. And Mendes is saying they tend to think less of themselves. And Wycliffe, they live a very frustrated life and they are easily intimidated. And then Margaret, they agree to everything, which is very good. I tend to think that behavior is something that we can learn. Behavior is something that we can unlearn. So even as we go out there, sorry, Mwenda, Michelle, you saying something?
No, I'm so sorry. Sorry.
It's okay. Abuli? Okay. Even as you go out there, it's very essential, you as a trainer now, to be equipped with these skills so that you can know, how do I tell if my audience, they are confident? When I ask a question, how many of them are able to answer without the fear of making mistakes? Yes, Manda? Because now when they start fearing to make mistakes, most of them won't learn. It's very essential that you teach them to be confident. It's very essential that you ensure that these adolescents, they are able to speak out. Confidence goes hand in hand with communication, which also goes hand in hand with problem solving. Because now these students has an issue. Are they able to ask for help? Are they able to weigh decisions and decide that I'm going to use this decision to solve a certain problem? And learning soft skills might sound as if it's easy, but it's very important to remember that these adolescents have to keep on practicing so that they get to get in tune with skills. Now, how do they get to learn? You have to mentor them on practicing. You have to help them try them out. If we're talking about getting organized, how do they get organized? Because they have to try it practically and even to set realistic goals. Other than that, it's important to make them learn how to communicate. Now that they are stuck with a certain issue, how do they go about it? And barriers to learning soft skills, it can be being lazy. Someone just doesn't want to use energy. You see, with these skills, it's not something that can just happen overnight. It's something that you have to keep on practicing. And then the other barrier is now the lack of practice and even lack of support. At times, learning skills really, they require being able to get support, not financial support, not a lot of support, not the material support, whereby there's someone who is checking how you're faring out, there's someone who is saying, this and this is trying, so I reward them. It's not with rewards act as a motivator for them to try, not necessarily rewards from you, but even from those around them, maybe from teachers or something. And they are made concerning soft skills. Most tend to think that soft skills are for adults, and they even wonder, why are you training adolescents on that? They are so young, they know nothing about this. But it's very important to know that soft skills are essential for everyone. It's very important to train them while they are young. And some also think that soft skills are for employing people. Like now, since they're schooling, there's nowhere where they can employ these skills, which is wrong. It's very important for them to learn and start practicing these skills as young as they are. And other individuals also tend to think that these skills are irrelevant, which also is very wrong. As we've seen, all these skills are very essential, not only for adolescents, but even for us as adults. I think that's the end of my presentation, unless we have questions. Questions, anyone? If someone wants to add something, I have really trying to keep time. Someone was a question. Can see questions about attendance sheets. I really do not know anything about it. Katile just left the meeting. I've tried contacting her, but she's offline. So I don't know what we will do about that. But I guess the assistant is around. She will handle the same. Maybe it will be sent to the group. But the good thing with the meeting is getting recorded. So we can see those that have joined us. Don't worry, someone. Someone else with a question or an input, feedback. Yes, Kadesa.
Yes. Nina. Hello, Nina.
Yes, yes.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
When part of monitoring in terms of organizational skills, can we use or is it recommended that you can use something like a weekly plan or a checklist? Sometimes maybe if you have a group of youth or teenagers that are a bit far from where the trainer is, you create something like a checklist, then distribute to the team. After that, let them go through the activities as planned, then give you feedback. I don't know, is it something or something, a structure that can work, or if someone has had an experience of using that, how is it? Thank you.
You're welcome. I think it gets to work, but it also depends with the institution, because now with each and every institution, they have their own ways of doing things. So maybe it can work for barrier breakers, maybe for another institution, they have a different way of doing things, which is quite fine. So it is relative, but it's something that is doable.
Okay.
Okay. Can I add something, input?
Yes, Samuel.
Okay, I just want to add on time management. I will be very quick. Or we can add these 3 ways to effectively manage our time. First, we choose the most important task. In other words, let us prioritize our activities. We need to train these young people. They should prioritize the activities, the most important thing. The second one, time management of obstacle, because we know there is some overload of work, disorganization, interruption. So we need to manage this obstacle that can help us to manage our time. And the third one, we need to have inability to say no. So sometimes we should not always agree with everything. Some things are not even urgent and necessary. Some things are urgent but not require needed attention immediately. So we need to say no to other things. And to end it, to prioritizing with the time management, we can do 4 things. 1, do what you must do alone. That is the first D. Second D, delete delegate. Delegate what others can do for you. Then the fourth one, delay activity that can be done or reschedule. Then lastly, you can eliminate or delete unimportant activities. This can help us manage time well. Not everything we should not be like everyone to carry all the burden. Sometimes we can do things we can do alone. Sometimes we can delegate duty. Sometimes we can delay and reschedule. And others we can delete kabisa. So we should know how we are handling time well and effectively. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samuel, for the addition. Someone else who has feedback, input, please unmute and talk to us. We shall have the other bit on soft skill training. My colleague, maybe the next day. Personally, I want to appreciate everyone that tuned in tonight. I really hope that you've gained something. I also want to appreciate those that have made the meeting so lively by writing on the chat box, even during the audio bit. Thank you. Other than that, I don't know if Katile's assistant is around so that we get to end the presentation. There is a question here from Collins. He's asking, I do not know if this question relates to today's topic, but what do you what do you do? Rather, how do you go about after you realize that you have a narcissistic and controlling personality and you keep I think it's and you keep It's more of he's asking, how do you handle the fact that you realize that you're narcissistic and you have controlling tendencies? I guess someone from the meeting can answer him kindly. Yes, Sam.
Thank you. I think that the way I said before, everything doesn't just happen. There must be a root cause. But most probably what brings the problem is that we tend to treat the symptoms, but not the root cause of the issue. So if you have such a kind of a person, personally, I think that you need to identify why he or she is behaving like that, not just seeing the result of the narcissist or the part of it. We need to first identify go deeper and know the root cause of her problem or his problem, the way he or she can behave like that. So from there, you can track well on how to start handling the problem, because treating the symptom only will not help. Because somebody to act in a narcissist way, it doesn't come from nowhere. Maybe there's something that led to that reaction, or for him or her to behave in such a manner. So you need to go deep and find the root cause of the problem. Then you start addressing it from there and solving it from that end. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. I think that's quite essential. The fact that you actually realize, Collins, that you have an issue with being narcissistic is very important. The moment that you realize that I have a problem, then you get to approach someone for help, just as you've approached us for help. And most of individuals who are narcissistic, actually, they do not want to accept that this is an issue that I have to deal with. But the moment you realize that this is something that is wrong, I have to learn. The good thing with behavior is that we can learn and unlearn. So when you get to learn to accommodate others, as other, I want to get the name, has just been said, you get to learn to accommodate others, and then you get to know that you cannot really control everyone and everything that they do. So it's a matter of learning new behaviors and unlearning their own toxic traits. Yes, Margaret. Margaret, I can see you on.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yes. I think the response Samuel and you have given is quite okay. But then I would like to point out that you cannot diagnose yourself. You cannot say that you have narcissistic personality, because that is something that has to be diagnosed. So I think for that person, Yes, you can have some traits that come out as narcissistic, but that is a personality disorder that has to be dealt with. So I think it will be important for them to seek help from a professional. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Margaret. Kadesa, you saying something? Kadesa? I really hope that you feel answered, Collins. Margaret has also insisted that you seek help from a professional, which is very important as well. Anyone else? All right, that's fine. Thank you for texting on the chat box. I can see that the session was fine. Thank you for making it also fine. I couldn't have made it fine on my own. And then I think we can end the session here. I want to still appreciate everyone that has joined. Wish you a good night and a nice week ahead. Thank you.
Same to Nina.